I have a very large family on my mom's side, and I have always been close to my cousins, from my mother's sister in particular. They have 8 children and make a decent amount of money, so naturally they live in a big house on a good amount of land. Around 5 years ago, I went to their house every day to hang out with them. We were all homeschooled, so naturally we had a lot of free time to play and just be kids. My aunt and uncle have about 4 acres of land, but only 1 acre isn't covered in woods, so that the only part of the yard you can play in, though we spent a decent amount of time in the woods. One day after we had gone to their house and played outside for most of the day, me and my oldest cousin, who was 15 at the time, and still claims this is what happened at 20 years old, went inside to hang out as it was getting dark, and without lights it was almost impossible to see in the woods at all. The middle child of their family, who at the time was 8 years old, was still outside with my sister, and they were playing for a while, but then the both ran into the basement door from the outside, where me and my cousin were planning on playing video games. My cousin was crying, and my sister was noticeably terrified, but neither of them could get out a word. They were so out of breath and in shock. So when we asked what was wrong, my cousin, with tears rolling down her face, pointed out, "Used to the tree line." Now the basement door is completely glass, and from it you can usually see the whole yard from inside. But their yard is at such a hill, if you look out while sitting, you can't see the bottom of the tree line. So we both stood up and walked to door, looking outside, where a man in a white suit was standing about 2 feet away from the woods with a hat on. We couldn't see his face. He looked like he was wearing gloves, but it was so obviously a person standing there. We naturally flipped out and sprinted upstairs to tell me aunt and uncle, who were in the kitchen. By the time we got up there and told them there was someone out there, he had completely vanished and we never saw him again. And to this day, me and my cousin both agree it was a man in a white suit. Now the second part of this story comes from my other cousin, who is one of the you-ever sisters from the same family. She is older than me, but her, then the first boy of the family who saw the white suit man. When she was 15, so a year or 2 after the first time we saw the WSM, she was moved from her room upstairs to the basement room, which had a window that opened up to backyard similar to the back door. She only stayed in that room for 1 week. During her time sleeping, she claims to have had consistent dreams of someone watching her from the window the first 3 nights while she was staying there. The 4th night she was in the basement, I had stayed the night with the oldest boy, and we were upstairs in the middle of the night making popcorn. It was around 1 or 2 at night, I'm not sure, but it had been hours since everyone in the house had gone to bed. But as we were making popcorn, my cousin, who we thought was sleeping, came running up the steps crying and telling us there was someone looking in her window. Remember, she was 15 at the time, so not a young child by any means. Now we were shocked, but we figured it was just a nightmare since she was clearly still asleep, even though she was actively in the kitchen saying stuff and had her eyes slightly open. We had seen this before in some of our other younger siblings when they had nightmares. Needless to say, we were shocked, and my aunt heard her and came to put her back to sleep. But she didn't sleep downstairs that night and moved upstairs a couple days later. Finally, I don't know if these are related, but it seems to me that they were. We haven't had anything happen since, and it's been a very long time. But what's y'all's opinion?